G'day guys, and welcome to the channel. So today I want to just quickly go through the Vline GROM infotainment upgrade, and also the everyone's asking about the dash, so we're going to do that. I've done a few videos, so I'm going to try. When I fitted originally to my IS350, I took some photos, and I also took some video when I fitted it to the ISF. But I'm going to voice over a fair few of those, so make a little bit more sense. The only downside is I can't give away the dash. That was custom made by a guy here in Brisbane, and he said there's probably about 15 to 20 hours work in doing the gauge. However, the software does come with default gauges, and you can custom make your own gauges. And the easiest way to do that, if you have an iPad, you can custom make the gauges on the iPad and then save it as a file, import it into the thing, and then there's your custom dash. You can do it in the car, but it takes forever and it's very slow. In the early model, like I've got, the early ISF, IS250, IS350, I think pre-2012, the system in those are very clunky and not the best. If you've got a later model like a 12, 13, 14, it works good because you can swipe with your fingers and all that sort of stuff, and it's just a much better system. But the early model is it's a little bit hampered by the Lexus system, not so much the Vline system. It's the Lexus system. It's a bit clunky and old. You got to remember, it's, what is it now, 2022, so this software that is in my car came out 2008, so not the best. But once you get it working, it's actually pretty good. So here we go. Hope this makes sense, and we'll try and get through this the best I can, give you an idea how it works. And yeah, so here we go. Well, here we are. This is actually my IS350, but the Vline, it looks the same as far as the layout and everything on all the IS250, 350 ISF. So this is how I mounted it, and some of you might not like it. A lot of people mount it in the dash, and there's like a little shelf thing in the glove box. Personally, I wanted to keep the glove box free and not have wires and stuff all through it. And what I've done here, there's a panel under the airbag and under all the other stuff under there, and it just drops down. And what I've done in the IS350, I just mounted it on top here. See the black outline here, I cut that out and I mounted it in there. But what I found, it actually got fairly warm. So in the ISF, I actually cut a hole in the plastic cover, and these plastic covers, like, you can find them in wrecking yards. They're all the same, all IS from right through from what, 2006. They're all the same part. So if you don't want to destroy the original one, just go to wrecking yard, get another one, same color. They're nearly all black, and you can do it this way. The reason I did this is now it sits a little bit out underneath, so the bottom of the unit is exposed to air and it runs a lot cooler, because this thing does actually run fairly warm. So, and the wires, I've just tidied up in through here, and that works. It worked really, really well. Once it's in and running, this is still the IS350. We're here in Apple Play, and you've got all everything you'd have on Apple Play, which you'd have in a normal car. You can use the sat nav within Apple Play. So use Maps, whether you use Apple Maps or Google Maps, whatever. And when you press the GROM button, that goes back to the main menu. So the next little video will be the installation, and yeah, we'll just step through that. The worst part is this vent. Pain. I really struggle in both cars to get the vent out, and I've seen some guys online on YouTube videos, same thing. It's a little bit fiddly. I think they've got special little tools and stuff at the dealer, and maybe they use two guys, because you sort of need to put the little clips down and pull at the same time, and it's hard to do by yourself. So you need someone to pull the clips down, and then another person to actually pull the whole assembly out, and it will come out. Once that's there, you can access the bolts, and getting this unit out then is really quite easy. Okay, so now on to the next part. So here we are, we're putting in the GROM Vline multimedia thing. It's a pain in the ass, and as you can see, I've done some damage to the to the dash pad, but it's been replaced anyway, so that's not a problem. But getting that out, what a pain. So it's wired up, it works. So now I've just got to route it through into here somewhere, and I don't know, we'll see how we mount it. I might do it my way, and but also there's a cable for the under here for the USB port, which I'll add in after. But the main thing is to get this thing back in and mount it up. At the moment the rear camera is not working, but I think that's I can fix that up and get that going. But yeah, not a bad thing. You've only got, on this model, there's only a couple of wires. It's a bit simpler than the later models. Is it as good? I don't think so, because you'll lose a fair bit of connectivity. Where the later model, you keep the factory USB, and the camera seems to work a lot better. This camera at the moment is not working, but we will fix that. So I'll do a little update when it's in. But getting this stupid thing out, these stupid clips, hate them. Hate them with a passion, but we'll getting a new dash, so I don't really care if I damage it too much. But here we go, here's part one. Okay, so here's the next thing we're doing, is installing Google Apps. So I'll be able to reinstall my TomTom sat-nav, which will be really good. There's a bolt way down in there, disappeared into the nether regions. I'll never see it again, so I actually had to chase up another 10mm bolt. But the next thing that's happening to this thing is the dash is being replaced, and I'm going to try and get a dash from the UAE, United Arab Emirates, because they're only $360 versus 1,000 and something from Lexus here in Australia. So as long as it's the same part number, it will work. So I will next little bit of video will show this thing. It's actually doing it quite quickly. So it's doing the update anyway. We'll show you the next thing when ready. Okay, so the unit is in. I'll turn off this this light, but under here, a bit dodgy, I know. Some of you thinking, what's he done? But I don't know if you can see it, but that's what I've done, and I'm not changing it. It actually works really well. Hang on. Okay, now we're recording again. So yeah, I just showed you underneath there, and I know some of you might cringe, but that is how I'm doing it. It is safe under there. It is easier to fit under there. There's no messing around with taking glove boxes out. I'm happy with how that worked. The unit works really well. I'll just get the light adjusted. There we go. So we've got, okay. So sorry about that, a little bit of an editing thing. Couldn't turn the light off, but here we are. We're in, and everything is actually working really well. So I've got all the Apple CarPlay. It's got everything I want in there, and it works perfectly. Where do we go? Get back. I don't want that. So pretty happy with how it's working. So we've got the maps, messages. Go back to there. Now we go back into GROM. Okay, so I've got TomTom Go set up. That goes through my Google account, and it is way better than the Lexus one, simply because you get free maps. Well, not free maps, you pay about 20 bucks a year. I get maps every couple of weeks, and also here it's got a live speedo reading as well, and that's good because the speedo is not accurate in this car. I mean, it's out by 2 or 3 kilometers now, but the old Lexus ISF 350 I had was out by nearly 10 kilometers an hour. So using this is much better for setting the cruise and just sitting back and doing all that. But everything works well. There's obviously all my local music. I can't play it because we'll get a YouTube thingy, but I've got, I don't know, 500 and something songs in there, and it uses the factory USB port, and there's an adapter, and that just goes into the factory plug between the GROM unit and the factory plug, and it just works. So you just use the one in glove box, or you can copy all that music onto the memory in that, and you don't have to worry about using the USB. It's all done on the thing. But yeah, so everything's there. It's got all the settings and all that sort of thing, so I can get that going. As you can see up here, this is disgusting, but that is the next job. There's 2 big jobs on this car. One is the valley plate leak, which I think is being done under warranty, and the dash is not being done under warranty, so I have to try and find one at a good price, because the factory ones here in Australia are about $1,300 for the dash. I can get one landed here from Japan, ex-Japan Toyota, for $750 to my door. How that works, I don't know, because it comes from the same freaking factory, but there's just a huge markup with the Australian parts departments and Toyota and all that sort of stuff. But if I can get one for $700, the labour's only going to be about $300 or $400, and I can get the whole job done for just over $1,000, which isn't too bad. I don't mind spending $1,000. I don't want to spend $2,000. So if I can save that, I can. But that's the unit. I didn't go into great detail because simply it is, other people have done it. Where I mounted it is there's a plastic cover, and I cut a hole, spaced it, mounted it, insulated the top from another little computer in there, and it works because that's how I had it in my IS350 for, I don't know, 6 or 8 months or whatever it was, and no issues at all, none. This actually is better because I've exposed it to cooler air, so I think it's going to be better installation than last one. I know others put them in the glove box, but I didn't want to go to the hassle of doing all that, so I'm happy having it there, and in the glove box I can put all my service manuals in and all that sort of stuff without interruption. Okay, here we are in the car. Now, this video is today. It's up to date, where those other videos were from quite a few months ago. As you can see, we've got the new dash. So I'm just going to show, hopefully this will work. Now, the system now has the OBD Fusion software. Now you do need to buy a adapter, which is under the steering wheel area. Very easy. You just plug it in, but it must be compatible with the OBD Fusion software. We could get music here. Shush. So now we'll go back here. Hang on. That's all Japanese, which doesn't work in here. But okay, here's the OBD Fusion. Now, it is a little bit fussy sometimes, but hopefully now it will load. It takes a little while to load. Now, the OBD Fusion you have to buy through Google Store, and this is the other one too. You need to. There's an add-on. I think the add-on's about $15, and it has all the Lexus, Toyota data for getting things like KCLV, all that sort of stuff. So you must have that, otherwise it will not work. So we connect here, and hopefully, I've got to turn the ignition on. Hang on, turn the ignition on. Don't need that. Connect. Please. Connecting. Now this is a little bit fiddly sometimes. Now we're there. Okay. So we're connected. It'll be cold. So 21 degrees, which is about what ambient is. It's about 17 degrees. So all that there. Now we've got voltage, which is actually a bit low. KCLV, ambient, ignition timing, mass airflow, flow, manifold absolute pressure. I'm going to look for something else in there. Lambda, which is important. So that there is the dash. Now the dash is, as I said, is custom made. Now, when I first filmed this, I made a huge mistake. You hit here and see where it says add dashboard, remove dashboard. I lost everything. So fortunately I had everything backed up. So what we do, we go back here. If you go to settings, up here, you can export settings and import settings. If I export settings now, I need to have a new USB. It will export all the settings so I don't lose my dash. Fortunately, I did do this a few months ago and I could restore it, but we had a major drama where, yeah, it was not good. I thought I lost a whole lot, which is a problem. But we go back here. Now, the other thing this thing does, you can do logs, you can do maps. Well, maps is, I don't use that because I've got satellite navigation and I haven't tried to fix it up. I don't know how it works. Settings, obviously you've got communications, so USB, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, units, metric. Okay, can't change that. Distance, acceleration, all those sort of thing. You can use Dropbox, but we tried to use Dropbox and it didn't work. And I'm not going to go any further because I don't want to screw this up. Now, if I go into where are we? Play Store, and I go to my account. I'll have to cover up my email address because I don't want people going into my email address. Manage apps and services. Manage the apps. Now see the TomTom Go and Google. Now if you use most used, There's the OBD. So you have to buy the OBD Fusion app. It must be compatible with the OBD plugin, otherwise it will not work. So you have to do a little bit of research on that. Updates available. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to screw anything up. Within the OBD Fusion, it won't. Oh, it's going to scroll down today. Okay. Now, there's an add-on, and as I said, you have to have that add-on for this to get the like things like KCLV and a few other things which are specific to Toyota and specific to the ISF. Also, I'm not sure if it showed. It should say loading. Yeah, see, loading 2010 ISF. You have to be vehicle specific with this, and it will then work. So that's it there. Now, to do a dash, custom dash, it comes with about 4 or 5 dashes. But to do the one I've got, you have to start from scratch. I don't have permission to just give this away. And there's no way we should do it by, even if the guy said, yeah, we can distribute it, we can't do it for free because he put in at least 20 hours work on his car in the dash. He's got a MY14 ISF, and it has the much better unit in it. And I've tried, when I first got this, I tried to do the dash, and it was just impossible. But you can do it if you've got an iPad. You can load everything up exactly the same, do the dashes, and then you can save it, export it to a file, email that file to your email address, download that file onto a USB stick, and then upload it onto here. It is fiddly, it is a pain in the ass, but it can be done. So that's how the OBD Fusion works. You can adjust the factory or the default ones to display KCLV and all that sort of stuff. But if you want the dash that we have in our cars, I'm going to contact him and see. But last time it was like, no, we can't just give it away because, we can't do that. So you have to make it yourself. And if you make it yourself on an iPad, it'd probably take about 4 or 5 hours. Maybe less if everything goes to how it should. But yeah, that's it. So this unit is actually pretty good. As I said, I've got TomTom. It's working really well. I've got the satellite pickup up here. And I run that up inside and hit the wiring. And that worked really well. So the settings in here, I found this much better than the factory one. The factory one is $500 a year to update, and it is a year old. So the maps are a year old, and you're paying $500 a year for a year-old map, which is stupid. Where this will really pay for itself in 2 years. The unit is about $1,000 Australian. I think it's about $650 US. But yeah, so that's it there. So we just turn that off. So hopefully that's answered some of the questions regarding the dash and how it works. So you need an OBD plugin for the car. You need OBD Fusion, you need the Toyota Lexus add-on, and then you can set your own dashes and customize as you wish.